What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today again on the Amazon server we actually have quite some stuff to do. I mainly want to start by progressing the chapters. We have 30 summons that we need to do to end this chapter, get 1000 gems, get some good stuff. And next one, some damage to bosses in Guild Altar, will be quick slaughter. And then we are already at wishing coins, and I of course will wait for the proper event to do this. So we're already getting pretty close to the end here. The end is actually chapter 42 and we have basically done everything here. Not cleared stage 3 in Broken Spaces yet. I think that is something we can do as well. So I reckon we start with like 30 summons here and see if we can get something good. Getting another Rogan of course would be huge. I take Ezreal, I take any good stuff like it's alright, some 5 stars would be huge. Those are really some summons where you really want to see a 5-star. Unlike on my main account where I would love to get 200 summons without a 5-star to finally get the bloody avatar. Because the avatar is kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. Well, let's see what we can get. First summon, nothing. We still get some stuff though. Oh, of course we get 4 for the summons, yeah. Hellgazing Stones. The hero list is full. Well planned, Mr. Wraec. Well planned. Didn't work out quite in the way I expected it, but I guess that is alright, guys. That is alright. We still have some trash heroes that we can get rid of, so now we should have enough for the last summon. We can make it a little bit more spectacular by not skipping the cutscene. And see all those 3 stars apparently in their prime, a 4-star even, so I guess I can't complain. I actually like the animation for summoning a 5-star in here, which it just seems we won't see, or we can click on this now, so at least we get a Gru, I guess. So that's something, guys, that's something, but that's really all we need to do here. And I reckon it's better to save up the rest of the scrolls for upcoming events and do a proper heroic summon in the future event and really get the loot there, instead of now wasting our 500 scrolls on this event and not even being able to complete it. We might even get another one here. Yes, 5-star, nice. Of course, it is always a 5-star. We have 46 left here and can get one more thing here, so maybe we can achieve that. Getting like an Cloud Island chest would be huge. Of course, the skin selection chest is better, but we will see what we can do. Now we're off to doing damage to the boss in Guild Altar, so I reckon we do this. Let's accept some people. Some people already asking. A lot of operation failed. Well, operation failed, by the way, always happens if somebody applies and then applied to another guild and was accepted there. So now let's slaughter that boss, I would say. Let's see how long that takes us to do. I would say not that long, even though didn't even know Icebreaker applied debuff on hit. That's interesting. I shouldn't change anything. We have Control Purify, so his ice is no problem, and yeah, as you can see, HP based damage, so not really an issue at all to slaughter him. And I think we already completed the task here. I can only attack like one boss at a time. I really want to give my clanmates the opportunity to attack the boss themselves. Oh, can do Ascension quest here. Didn't even see that. Good that I had a look here. Let's see. And he's dead. Nice. I guess we can go all the way in dark. I mean, the opponent is an Aspen. Should really be not a huge issue. So we can do dark. We can do warrior. So both of those should be easily doable for us. So that's kind of nice. Now off for the next part. We've done that. We can claim the reward, another 1000 gems and a 6-star chest. 40 battles in Crystal Chronia. We've already done that, of course. Normal difficulty and 4 monster auras. And another thing I talked about, I talked about in an earlier episode in the free-to-play series actually, that I wanted to get Interdimensional Arena champion or overseer here. Then again, Overseer of course doesn't exist. Overseer is Maverick. As you can see here, there's like no Overseer at all. Usually there would be in between, but we have like 4 people that even reach the Overseer level. So the problem is we're now at 3-team setup, and we don't have another good hero. if we had another good hero, we might have a chance, but we have just one good hero. So with just one good hero, we don't stand a chance of winning here. Like, we are probably too weak to beat this. So let's search for another enemy. And then we get something like this. And we just can't beat it. We just can't beat it because while we might beat like this team, for example, or this team, we can't set a team that would beat a second team. So that's like our problem here, and that's the what hinders us from getting any further than Mediator, which will give us the Mediator frame, which is quite alright. Beyond that, on Amazon, we are already ranked 239, even though we are in Mediator, which means we will actually compete in Battle of the Best in 11 days. So the incentive to push on Amazon is really, not that existent. If you want the Maverick frame, of course, but it's rather likely actually that you get an opponent in the first round of Battle of the Best and win. And by winning against an opponent in Battle of the Best in the first round, we of course obtain a frame as well, a pretty decent one at that. You will get, where is it? Am I blind now? There. This frame by just winning one time, so it's 22% HP frame, which is quite great. And of course 22% HP, 7% attack is a direct upgrade to this one, to the Maverick frame. So reaching Maverick is really rather useless at this point if you can just win one battle in Battle of the Best against somebody that is probably rather weak. So considering that, I don't think we are going to go Overseer, but we are going to go into Battle of the Best, and of course we are hoping for an easy or doable opponent. So next step I would say is going to monthly events. We have Broken Spaces open here, and I would say we just go in here and see what Aspen can really do. First opponents shouldn't be that difficult. Yeah, looks a bit like the Flame Shrine bosses we fought, even a little bit weaker actually. Yeah, and that's it. Round 3, which is quite huge actually. Already working on V4, by the way, on Aspen. So Aspen is currently V3. The attack stats are currently in the doing. We have like level 18, 19 or something on attack. Then of course still need to do the HP and the speed. But I'm not really planning on buying any course. I was asked that before, and not really something I would like to do. I mean, currently would in theory be a good event for this, as we could just go in there and get like some VIP XP through buying cores, and then of course progress in the event itself. Get some more stuff in there, some sublimations would be in theory quite huge, but I'm not sure that is really the way forward in this account. I don't really want to make this account like the biggest spender account. Some people wanted that, and of course I can see why early game whaling would be interesting, yes, but then again, whaling in itself costs a lot of money, of course, and the series itself will never pay for the spending I will do on this account. I've accepted that a long time ago, of course, but like if we would make this like huge whaling account, that would mean like, of course, 1,500, something like that spent, and that's not something I want to do on this account. We will do stuff like an occasional higher spending, I would say. Yeah, there will be weeks where we will spend like a whale, but there will be other weeks that will be entirely free to play. I reckon if there is ever another summoning event, like in the Project Snipe or Project Phoenix video. Project Snipe was the title I imagined we would do first. Couldn't really beat that one, but we beat one of them, so guess that's already quite good. The 25% HP nuke on Aspen of course helps a lot. There will be like the Project Phoenix video, like the Awakening Summoning event. That will be something that we will do. That will be an event that we will prepare for, and we will of course go in there and maybe even get an S tier. That will be something I will aim for the next time, and we will see if I can do that. And will be quite interesting in any way. I imagine in any event that that is available like this, we will always get at least an A-, so that should be something that is interesting as well. The question of course remains, will DH Games even release this event again. Will they do that? Or will it just be like, okay, one-time thing and it's basically done and we'll never see that event again? Both is entirely possible. We won't know that, even though I like the event, to be honest. A lot of people hated on that summoning event, but I like that you could just go for that safe A tier, for that guaranteed A tier, and get some nice progress that way. Regarding those runes, by the way, if you're maybe an early game player, if you care for PvP, usually speed is the way to go. In early game PvE, attack is much stronger. We care more about PvE, therefore we will go for attack. And I thought for a second it was the HP rune because the HP buff was higher. But HP in general is of course a higher buff. Yeah. For PvP, of course, the speed is much more valuable, but we won't compete in PvP for now. In the future, maybe. And now I forgot it again. We need to change to Attribute Purify on that Aspen, and I forgot. Of course, forgot that again. Against the Grus, that is a lot more damage, and I imagine we can't level anymore. Leveling still takes forever here. It's really, really annoying. Might go for another attempt at Aspen Dungeon, honestly. We have quite a few upgrades, and last time that was very boring. I made a video and then I said like, oh no, you can't show that to anybody, because like it was, I don't even remember, like a 2-hour push or something. we built the hero and then we pushed for like 2 hours, and I used a macro for it, of course. I didn't do it myself, but it took forever, just like this fight, honestly. Oh, we're around 5. We can talk a little bit. I think that will be right. It was like a 2-hour push because nothing could actually stop us. It was insane, and I think we destroyed like 300 stages in Aspen Dungeon in a row. Might just have been like record-worthy push, like the biggest push probably in Aspen Dungeon ever. And I mean, in that sense, it is cool. But if you watch it, it's like, yeah, it's just clicking. And we have one hero, so there's nothing that changes, and it's done by a macro, so we don't even use any potions. And we don't look at the waves, so it's just Aspen winning all the time for 2 hours. So not really that spectacular in my opinion. And therefore I didn't really want to show it. The damage here, I have to say, is not looking that great. I mean, we don't really have extra scaling. If you had like an endless cane, of course in the later rounds you would be much stronger. The melodic strings is really more of an early game burst, and if you see Aspen doing stronger hits, that is his own scaling. That is not the scaling of an endless cane or something like that. That is really only his own scaling, and which is huge as well. You can see all the buffs. We have like 19 buffs and extra 4 buffs here, so it is quite substantial. But of course against the Grus, we are kind of in a disadvantage. It's not so easy to deal damage to the Grus as they debuff you all the time. I would say 16% is still pretty decent chunk. We can skip 1 or 2 fights. I want to see the damage numbers, honestly. 3.9, okay. And I reckon the next one will actually be much more substantial, and we will likely kill the Gru. Like 1 Gru? No, not even yet, okay. 6. Oh, I think we killed 1. As soon as we reach like 25%, one of them dies. 25% is really Aspen's culling zone, where really slaughters enemies. And oh, he didn't even kill 1. That is surprising. Okay, probably the Gru being rather tanky, but below the 25% threshold, it's really where he gets his extra damage. And it's interesting because that mechanic was actually brought to the Transcendence version as well. So are many of the mechanics of the older Transcendence heroes. If you look at the older Transcendence heroes, they really built the Transcendence heroes in a way that they were a little bit like the old heroes. And nowadays it's entirely different. They built the Transcendence hero and then they cut out some mechanics to build the non-Transcendence version, which is a bad way of doing it in my opinion. And something that I don't really appreciate. The older heroes were much more interesting in that way for Trillion now. I think we will smash the rest, though it's not... Yeah, that's okay. Should only be 2 hits, and then we can get have a look at this. This is a CC stage, though, so our Attribute Reduction Purify is kind of out of place. And we should have gotten some gold and spirit now from clearing the stage, so we can use that as well. Beyond that, our monster, of course, can be upgraded again. As you get quite a lot of monster material, actually, from clearing stages in broken spaces, which kind of makes it nice that our Aspen is, of course, that strong, and as strong as he is, and clear that many stages. So that's pretty great, and will help us in the long term to get more loot and progress nicely in this game mode and other game modes as well. So this being a CC stage, there's a lot of CC. We have Valentino stunts, we have Jara, everything. Like the base Jara version can inflict a whole lot of CC, if I remember correctly. I think she can even freeze kind of rare CC. The Transcendence version of Jara, of course, has an enhanced version of freeze, but really they rarely ever release a version of freeze on a base hero, which is kind of interesting. That is still very rare. Stun is much more prominent than that. And freeze kind of feels like an older CC that never really made it into our time. Pretty low damage, it seems. Then again, the survivability on our Aspen was pretty great. We did 6%, so I reckon we can do 10 hits, and I want to see how far we get with 10 hits. Let's see. And 10 hits, and we are at 21%. Let's see one fight. I mean, it's still pretty decent. Now we have only the Valentino left. The Valentino can probably still kill our stuff. Unless, of course, he gets energy drained. I mean, it's really like the active that kills us. Or stuns us. Keeping the Rogues alive would actually be huge. Get some more buffs from that, but really depends on the carries and if we get some good RNG. But right now, it seems honestly, it seems rather fine. Decent drain until that point. And now we get the extra damage from being under 25%, and you can really see that with every hit we absolutely demolish his life bar. And now we're close to 10 trillion, pretty nice damage. And already through stage 6, or at stage 6, and stage 6 I would imagine will be our roadblock for now, which is absolutely alright. We don't want to waste too many tickets on that. Stage 6 is a little bit hard because of the Twine. The Twine is a very mean CC, to be honest. CCing us at the beginning of the next turn instead of CCing us when the hit actually comes in. And therefore the Oberon can be slower than us and still CC us, but the good thing is Aspen scales control immunity. So like we have the control immunity from the Ignis dying, which is kind of the idea of that, and then he has his own control immunity, and you can now see we didn't get CC'd once, even though Corpse Demon has a special ability to CC warriors, and Oberon has his very mean Twine, so that is something. But we didn't get CC'd. Our support heroes, of course, a bit lackluster. But honestly, the damage is still kind of decent. I would love to see what happens if we smash like maybe 20 times. Maybe 20 times would be okay. Let's see. 2%. So now we can give it the last hit basically. And there is the CC. Aspen being a warrior, of course, instantly triggered the ability. But it also seems to affect assassins. I have to read up on Corpse Demon. I think we should do that. Such a meta hero. Well, not really. But let's have a look at him. I wanna have a quick glance at his ability, because I remember something that it was freezing warriors. Kind of interesting. Basically an S tier stat here. Freeze immunity. On older heroes that was much more prominent, that they had stats like this. Fateblade, for example, has stun immunity. Corpse Demon has freeze immunity, and was like the associated CC effect with them was oftentimes something they were immune against, or in the case of Fateblade, I have actually no idea why it was stun. I think they just thought it was nice. But when attacked by non-warrior enemies, it is 20% chance to freeze them, and when it's a warrior target, it's 35% chance. Okay, that was it. Kind of interesting. Freeze on hit is pretty cool ability, honestly. I wonder if you could actually scale that with like control precision and some of the awakening stuff we have today. Run like a Rui on him, making him a tank. I mean, he is a tank. He has very high HP, and I think that would be quite cool. Restore self HP by 26% of max HP. So like one day, maybe if we see like if he becomes able to be awakened, or he's able to be awakened, not sublime boss is the word. When he become able to put Stellar on him, make him V4, and then with a proper awakening, he might honestly be quite interesting. It's quite a cool hero. I think we will do one last hit. I was surprised that we could beat the Oberon stage now actually already at stage 7, which is kind of huge. Of course, we stand no chance against the... Oh, we should have gone for Attribute Reduction Purify. Yeah, the Ada already chipping down our heal. That wasn't very nice. 544 million Attribute Reduction Purify. That is the way, my guys. Attribute Reduction Purify. To get rid of the Ada reduced heal effect. Let's have a look. Where is it? There it is. When a round ends, deals damage against all enemies, reduces the effect of being healed by 10%. And that actually hinders us from healing, which isn't quite that nice. I wonder if we even need the Unbending Will or can go for a little bit more healing with Balanced Strike. I think that might even be better. So let's see how that works out. 99% of course says nothing. Let's see. Yeah, that wasn't great. This was actually worse. I think we will stop there and go for an entire different thing. We're now going to do the rest of Dark SL. I was actually asked that by a lot of people. I was quite surprised, and I have to say, oh, max level. That's nice. Maxed him finally with our very successful SL pushes. We should upgrade the stone as well. I would give everything to have that dust on my main account. We have attack stone, that's quite nice. I think we can go a bit further though. Holy damage attack HP. Precision attack is honestly quite a decent stone for now. We will run out of gold rather soon, so I would like to save up some gold for better stone in the future. Let's keep this stone for now. And I made a video on Dark SL, as you can see. We're already at SL15, and I thought it was horrible. It was such a bad video. It was so uninteresting, and I didn't like it. So I guess we will just go ahead and progress a little bit more now into Dark SL, give our best, and see if we can beat SL20 now. The tactic, of course, being just draining the energy from the boss mainly. We can't really take an active from the boss. That would be quite bad, even though now that's probably different. Our Aspen is actually E5, so we have Unbending Will, which changes a lot. SL16, no issues at all. In the fights before we had some issues. The first one were all one-shots. Wasn't too impressive, honestly. I expected it. The first few SLs, maybe some of you already forgot that, but the first few SLs that you do don't actually have 5 enemies. Like in the boss fights you always have 5 enemies now, but the first few fights actually only have 3. The boss and two minions, not 4 minions. So that is a little bit different than in the later stages. I think it starts with SL5 where they actually introduce more enemies. But actually this looks quite promising, or did look quite promising until the moment our carries decided not to drain the boss, and still we beat it, so we are absolutely OP. Usually this fails as soon as the boss doesn't active. That's Lotus like all your heroes. Those are puny 5-star heroes, and basically you have no chance at that point. The Armorers of course need energy artifacts to work, and usually the power would be more evenly distributed. I think when I beat it, I had like a 10-star Armorer. That actually looked like we had no Unbending Will. Did I not change that? Yeah, we don't have Unbending Will. Would have been good, of course, to have that. But like another thing, of course, is do our carries dodge or don't they? And if they dodge, of course, we will survive better. And taking an active from the boss, as I said. Not the best thing, but those are honestly very solid clears. Not a whole lot of problems here, and I'm actually surprised how fast we actually got to the point that we could clear SL. I think if I really put more effort into it, we might even have been able to do that earlier. Because this actually looks super easy, and that was SL20 for you guys. Pretty early on. We can try 21, but like this is a huge jump. This is like an absolutely huge jump. And one thing I cannot unsee. Do you even say that like that? I have no idea. They always wrote the strength value of like the stage that you fought, and you generally got a grasp of how strong your enemies are, and they really don't do that here. And I think that's kind of tricky. I mean, you see the difference, of course. Okay, there is like a color change, something must be different. You see 4 enemy encounters instead of 1, but I think for a beginner it would have helped to see like, okay, the numbers actually changed, like maybe added to it and show that this is like, I have no idea how much strength they actually have, like 20 million, something like that, I would imagine. And add that, or 200 million, I have no idea. Maybe add those numbers, that would have been quite cool. And of course they have speed, so our armorers are likely useless. That was not bad damage. I mean, like, guys, that's really decent damage. I mean, we can't take their damage. That is the main problem. We can't survive. If we could survive, that would have been an entirely different story. I wonder, that is way more damage than I expected. We don't have a max monster, don't forget that. I mean, like, we could work towards optimizing our guild tech, do some stuff. But that is closer than I thought, actually. Maybe fix the speed issue. Those would be some things. And those are pretty interesting. You get those packs here as offers. This one's actually horrible. And this one is pretty horrible as well, in my opinion. But it's like one of the rare packs where you can actually buy glorious relics. So if that's something you're looking for, clearing some SL will do the trick. So, 27-minute video already. I wanted to do some Aspen dungeon, but I guess as it is quite uninteresting, we might actually do that later, or I will skip ahead. We will do it really shortly. We will put the Aspen in. I will just stop the recording, and then we will see how far I can actually get. I can show one fight so you get an idea of how strong we are. That's how strong we are. That was an active. Maybe show a second fight. Let's see. I think last time I died pretty early on that stage. Then again, keep in mind we are already at hell 50, so that is something. I would just use the macro skip ahead, and then we will see how far I got. And there we are. We actually cleared hell and got to death 20. So not that bad. Actually placed 178 on the server. Quite nice. Quite happy with that. That will of course be some work to clear, but I reckon a latest point, as soon as we build the Aspen and upgrade it to LFA, we should be quite fine there, and we get another one of those packs actually now at limit 2. Could just buy a relic right now by buying all those packs, but we're not going to do that. Going to cash our hell difficulty reward, and actually we're pretty close on having enough gold and gems to buy resonance gear. Resonance gear would be quite interesting as well. So that's something that we will do in maybe one of the next episodes. And with that, guys, I want to end the video. When you see that, I will actually be on holiday, which will hopefully be quite nice. I wish you guys a great week, a great weekend, and we will see us in the next one.